You said something that sticks with me. You said it wasn't till you came to the United States that real hate started coming at you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What was the hate that you felt? And did the cops ever stop you?
I've been pulled over quite frequently by the cops, yeah. One of my best friends, David Meyer, would drive all over the West Coast to these comedy shows. If I was driving, we would get pulled over.
And if
then
he
he
was
would
driving?
drive, we wouldn't get pulled over.
But you did say you experienced hate.
Yes, but I mean, that's welcome to America,
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate in America because there's a lot of anger in America.
How is it changing you?
For me, I'm always trying to figure out, how do I speak to somebody who hates me? This is where we are for now.
Because of his childhood, growing up between two different worlds, he tends to see both sides of an argument. Take his reaction to the trouble his friend, comedian Dave Chappelle, got in over his Netflix special, The Closer.
We blacks, we look at the gay community.
That was criticized as homophobic, transphobic, and misogynistic. In your mind, did he cross the line?
Did Dave Chappelle cross the line? Yes, no. It immediately puts me in a position where I have to choose a side when I think that the matter is a lot more complex than that. I think everybody is defining the line for themselves.
No, society defines a line.
You see what you're saying now is you're saying society has decided. But America is clearly divided in that half of society has gone like, no, Dave Chappelle, we love what you said. We're sick of wokeness. We're sick of people being told what to say. We're sick of not knowing how to use the right pronoun. You're right, Dave Chappelle. So then if half of society is saying Dave Chappelle is right and half of society is saying that he's wrong, then that means there is no line. It means society is seeing the line from two different sides. And so that's why I say you cannot say, did he cross the line? Because which side are you looking at the line from defines whether or not he crossed it.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail? I hope you watch the clip. The enemy within, right? So I saw this clip of Trevor Noah, right? And it really wasn't the clip and what he said that I was like, that got me. It was, I guess, the acting or the real response that he was getting. I done forgot the other woman's name. I'm sorry. From the 60 Minutes host. I always think of Barbara Walters, but it's not Barbara Walters, right? But she's like, oh, really? Seriously? And for a biracial guy from Africa, South Africa, if I'm not mistaken, to come to America, and he'd be considered a black man in America, and to go, it's pretty much an angry, hateful. This can be an angry, hateful place, and the lady go, what? And it lets me think about, talk about, and deal with the concept of America having a lot of enemies within. I remember, and I remember recently, in the last few years, they would do the FBI studies or whatever, and they would say, white supremacists are probably are America's biggest threat, as far as terrorists go, or just terrorism in the country. And the January 6th debacle, that happened before the January 6th debacle. The storming of the Capitol, rather, it's been years since that happened, but for her to look at him like, wait a minute, like, seriously? Seriously? You have an issue with dealing with the enemy within America, and the enemy is anger and hatred. It unwarranted, unnecessary, but definitely supported in this country. Definitely cultivated, right? And the other thing that intrigues me is because Trevor Noah is an immigrant, right? And that could have went either way. That could go either way. But he grew up in South Africa with the history of apartheid, so he knows like caste systems already. He knows classism, caste, racism. He already knows that. But there are other people who aren't like that. Like they just that's what happens to you. That doesn't happen to me. And or there's some people who will come to America and go, well, I know how I should act with you. And if I jump on that bandwagon, I'll be accepted. And what I was looking at, and maybe I was reaching, uh, is an older white woman thinking like looking like, I thought we were better than this. I thought we were like I didn't think people come to this country and this would be their experience. You're black, but you're not black like the blacks that are here. Like you're different. How did you get that treatment? And it's like, well, maybe y'all are asking the wrong question. How do you consistently give out hateful treatment and expect good experience for people based on these racial interactions? How do I don't like that's insanity to me. That's complete nutcase behavior to go, oh, well, and the reason I say it's nutcase behavior is because it's like, well, it doesn't happen all the time, so it's not that big of a deal. You know, did you have that experience? Yeah, yeah. How many people have that experience? Pretty much all of them. But a lot of other ethnicities and groups, their interactions, and maybe we're justifying as Black Americans, like the best y'all got is being teased as kids or getting teased by kids. That there you go. Like you're not like coming into the black side of town and just getting stomped out on sight or you know bother doing anything. There's that viral clip of the man and his family going fishing in their subdivision, a neighborhood, and different white people. Hi, you live here? What are you doing here? What's your name? Where you at? Then there's another clip of another black man in that same neighborhood meeting the black guy who recorded all that stuff and uploaded it and was like, yeah, I've been living here for years. He ain't the only one. That's what they do. So when I saw the host's face, like, Trevor, not you. You didn't get that, did you? And the surprise of saying like this is an angry country, like you should know this by now. But nobody can answer where the anger is coming from. And sometimes I think it's a difference of opinion, it's a difference of culture. I think in America, we made the assumption that we know the reason and the history behind the anger, and we don't. And we just skip over that. And I hate you because I hate you. I hate you because I don't like you. I hate you because I think I'm better than you. I hate you. I hate you. And it's like, okay, so you hate me. You don't like me. You don't want me around. And when I'm not around, you come looking for me. And when I'm not around, you plotting on me. And when I'm not around, you congregating to make sure that my life can be a living hell in some way, shape, form, or fashion when because you don't want me around, but when I'm not around, you want me to be around to inflict your, I guess, anger out on for, it's like an indescript nutcase reasons. It's like, because I want to, because I just got to do it. And it's like, well, you do realize the enemy isn't me, the enemy is you. But at the same time, if you keep bringing your ass around me with this, the war that you're looking for, because what was that called? Death by cop. Like when people want to commit, want to off themselves, what they do is they act real crazy around police officers, and the police officers shoot them. And I'm in fear for my life thing, and people go, oh no, he didn't want to do it to himself, so he got you to do it because he knew you could hide behind the law or the badge or the moment or whatever. You wouldn't see through that. And sometimes to us, the racial dynamic in America comes off like that. Oh, you really want me to put you out of your misery? You could do it yourself. I don't know why you need to keep picking a fight with me. If you want to put yourself out of your misery, go do it. But getting back to, the meat of that issue was just that whole idea of not seeing that the enemy is like the enemy. America's, my dad used to say anger is the enemy. America's anger is inflicted on everybody that comes to this country or who's been in this country, because America's an angry place. With a history of angry people, with a history of hate-filled people. It's delusional, lying to yourselves in the country like, oh, this is this, and this is that. Part of the idea of us being free is we're going shooting up other people's country for our freedom. That doesn't even make sense. Do you know why we're over there? The place that we'll never live and never go, because we're fighting for our freedom. Like, no, that's not. No, I'm pretty sure they wasn't coming over here. I'm pretty sure of it. You don't know. They could be plotting. It's a lot of projection. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been to the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.